Hey everyone, and welcome to another review. This one is for a Dark and Stormy Murder, and this is by Julia Buckley. So this author also wrote the Undercover Dish Mysteries, Cozy Mystery series. This one is the first in a new series. It's the Writer's Apprentice Mystery. Okay? So that is the cover. Okay, so this one I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. Cozy mysteries tend to fall usually about a 4-star for me. I generally just really enjoy them. But they're never really my favorite books, but I really enjoy them. So, okay. So this one we are following London, I think is the last name. If I remember right, it's Lena London. Let me double check here. I want to say it is Lena London because it sounded just kind of, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so we're just going to say Lena. I'm fairly certain it's London, his last name. Doesn't matter. So Lena lives in Chicago by herself. She is in her mid-20s and she is trying to write a book. Her favorite author is by the name, who writes kind of like cozy mysteries, is by the name of Camilla Graham. And she just absolutely loves all the books, all the mysteries that Camilla Graham has ever written. So one day Lena gets a call from her best friend who lives at Blue Lake. I think her friend's name was Allison, if I am remembering correctly. So she gets a call from Allison. And Allison says, hey, guess who I am in a knitting club with? It's Camilla Graham. So Lena, of course, is freaking out. Like, no, you're lying to me and all that. So just this little banter back and forth. Anyway, what has happened is Lena ends up with a phone interview with Camilla Graham, her writing idol. And she lands the job to go and be Camilla's apprentice to help her edit. Because Camilla's getting a little, as she's getting older, she's finding certain things in her books that it's harder to say, okay, there's this inconsistency at the end, but we've got to figure out where at the beginning it's not making sense, or why this isn't as suspenseful as it should be. So she's asking for help as kind of like a peer review, and to help her rewrite certain scenes and edit and do some research and things like that. So Lena, of course, she has the interview, jumps at the chance, gets the job, and goes and gets to actually live in Camilla Graham's house. So she's living in her idol's home. Now Lena has a cat named Lestrade. So she takes the cat with her to this house. Camilla Graham has 2 German Shepherds. Oh, what are their names? I can't remember their names. I think Rupert, or I don't know, Huxley, I think is one of them. Anyways, it doesn't matter. They're kind of, they do have their own little kind of, anyway, they have the reason why they're in there, but it was just delightful. It was a very easy read. It was very enjoyable, very quick read. So I don't know, she just, it's like, so there's this person in this town that everyone's like thinks negatively about, but yet she sees this person and go, he's not what these people are saying. What's everyone's deal? And of course you find out that Lena loves her research, but she can also be nosy at times, and trying to ask certain questions to glean more information, and things like that, which is all fine and good, but when it's like sensitive information, you're not really entitled to all that stuff. But anyway, it was just, I don't know, it was good. It was just like a standard cozy mystery. So Lena moves from Chicago to Blue Lake to live in Camilla Graham's house to help her. And of course, shortly after, there is a body found on a nearby beach line, where a guy is shot to death. So you have the mystery surrounding that. You also have a little side mystery of what's going on with this guy in his life that people are accusing this one guy of being a murderer when she thinks he's not and has nothing to do with things. And so there's kind of two murders that you're following in a way. But obviously the one on the beach is the biggest murder. So yeah, so Lena, people is like the town interest. Everyone's interested in her. One, because it's a small town, so she's new and everyone's interested. But two, she befriends the guy that everyone has a negative opinion about, that they think he is a murderer and they don't want him in their town and stuff. So I don't know, it was just really interesting. And in this house, there are supposedly secrets in Camilla Graham's house. You do find out what those secrets are. And so that's kind of fun. And I could picture in my head the layout of the house, and I thought, that is my dream house. I want a house like this. I want a house like Camilla Graham has, that's on this, that has a big front porch, kind of like a wraparound porch, you know, a nice big kitchen, some big rooms upstairs. I don't know. It was just my dream house. Yeah, like I'll ever get that. But anyway, I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's really not much you can say about a cozy mystery. They all follow the standard format. You know, new person, new business or new job or whatever it is. Then there's a murder. Where does the blame go? In this one, it actually, I will say, did not fall on Lena, which in most it would fall on the main character. So that was kind of an interesting and fresh take on it. Yeah, so that was good. And I don't know what, I mean, you know, and then of course people bumble around, and then obviously the main character is smarter than the local police, and they find things out before the police do, and are the ones that help the police crack the case. That is the standard formula for a cozy mystery. It is reliable. It is, you might have a slight deviation between series here and there, but that is generally every single cozy mystery. That is the formula for a cozy mystery. You do not have in cozy mysteries explicit sex. You do not have explicit graphic scenes. Like the most graphic thing in this was that under the body there was a pool of blood, or blood in a room, or something like that. That is the extent of the graphicness. So if you can handle the mention of blood, but you can't handle anything else, then you'll like how this does not have the graphic stuff in it. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. Every cozy mystery has the same formula, and they're cozy mysteries because they're cozy, in my opinion. I don't know. I just love them. They are very much kind of a cozy mystery. It kind of gives me the feeling of like I'm reading a book with a close friend. I'm wrapped in a blanket. There's a crackling fire in the fireplace in the same room. The lights are dimmed. There's a little bit of rain outside, so you have the sound of the rain. That's kind of the vibe I get from most cozy mysteries when I read them. The kind of feeling I get, and I love that feeling. So I don't know why I don't read more cozy mysteries. I need to. I just really enjoy them. So that's really all I can say without spoiling anything. 4 stars, absolutely loved. There is, another thing, there's a cook for Camilla Graham, that she's another fun character. All the characters in the small town are kind of quirky and fun in their own way, and they have very distinct personalities. That's one thing with a cozy mystery. The personalities are very distinctive, but there's not a lot of depth to the characters, to all the side characters, which is standard with pretty much any book. But they are very quirky and things like that. You have someone that's married their childhood sweetheart. You have someone that's been in a relationship with this guy that they've married for, I think, over 30 years, coming up on 30 years. I don't know, something like that. They own a business together. You have the town that it's like there are people that it's like this guy's son is rude and kind of like the local riffraff, but there's not a lot of mischief in the town because it's a very small town. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows everybody's business. So I don't know, it's fun. So anyway, this one lady that shows up, and I can't remember her name, but she's the cook. So she comes in and cooks a meal for Camilla, and she ends up, of course, with leftovers and stuff. But they described the food that this cook did so wonderfully. Like, she made an assortment of cupcakes. You had one with a pink top and sprinkles, and just the aesthetic of it, and just the love that this character puts into her cooking in this, and just that it's like this divine, and you can't have any better food because there is nothing more delicious than this one person's cook. It's just how things were described. That was just it was always fun when that popped up, because it's like, ooh, what's she making now? What's for dinner? What's for snack? Anyway, it was really good. So I highly loved it. And I do like, one thing that was realistic is it was like, there's a stressful moment, and it's Camilla and Lena. And when things kind of start to settle down, it's like, you know what? Let's have a cup of tea and a cupcake to kind of help soothe down, to help calm us. Yeah, people turn to food for many reasons, and that was in here. One thing to be aware of, and I know this is can be very sensitive for some people, is mention of becoming fat. Some people will go as far as saying it's fat phobic. I personally, with being fat and reading this, I can go, I think it's more on the scale of she's vain, and maybe not vain, but very happy with how she looks and her physique. And she loves the food so much, there's just that, she's kind of like, if I keep eating this food, I'm going to get fat. If I keep loving the food like this, if she keeps cooking like this, I'm going to get fat. That's pretty much it, but I know that can be a very sensitive topic for some people, so that's definitely something to be aware of going into this. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm looking at it, I'm like going, I can see that thinking, and I understand it. So it did not bother me at all, but I can see that it would bother some people. But absolutely loved, highly recommend. I actually talked about this enough that my mom wants to read it, but she has a backlist of books, so I don't know when she'll ever get to this, but she also loves cozy mysteries, so I have no doubt that she will like this as well. So that's going to be it for the review of A Dark and Stormy Murder by Julia Buckley. Again, this is the first book in a series. I think it's a fairly recent series. I just ordered, as soon as I finish this one, I ordered the second one, which should arrive here any day. And so I'll hope to get to that one quite sooner. This particular one was published in 2016, so it is a fairly new series. And I know cozy mysteries can be fairly long, so I'm not sure how many books are going to be in this. I think there's only just a small handful of books in this series so far. Anyway, so again, finally, that's it for this series. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.